I would like to welcome you to CABI Research for Life demo session. And I would like to ask you first, can you all hear me clearly? Please send a text, if the voice is okay. Okay, thank you very much. The objective of the call today is introduce the people who don't know CABI as an organization. Then we are going to use our main platform called CAB Direct to illustrate how to search the CAB Direct platform. Our colleagues from Research for Life, they are going to give a small presentation about Research for Life and also how to access CABI from the Research for Life platform. And now, will our colleague from Research for Life would like to talk about the Research for Life?
Yes, good morning. My name is, or good afternoon. Yes, my name is Edith Horváth. So I'm the ILO user and outreach officer and work for the Research for Life. So shall we start? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's, yeah, we can start, people joining in. We still will be doing introductions for the first 10 to 15 minutes anyway. Then the people who will join later will make the CAB Direct web demo. So you could start and I will move the slides for you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. So, so welcome to everybody. So just a short introduction, what is Research for Life? So Research for Life provides free or low-cost access to academic and professional resources online from about 160 international publishers. So scientific and academic publishers. We have at the moment around 23,000 journals, 86,000 books, and about 120 other resources, meaning databases and reference tools and other resources, including CABI Abstracts. So that's why we are presenting to you. So what are the subjects we are offering? The main subjects are health, agriculture, environment, law and social sciences, but also scientific and technical information. Would you please move the slides?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And one more, please. So who can use Research for Life? So mainly institutions can register. So low-income countries have free access to Research for Life, and middle-income countries have low-cost access to Research for Life resources. So who can register? Institutions can register. Could you please move to the next slide? So the local not-for-profit or research institutions like universities, research institutes, government offices, any healthcare offices, hospitals, NGOs, vocational training centers, and national libraries. So I know that most of you are Research for Life users, but if you know any other institution who is eligible, then please encourage them to register for Research for Life. We have 5 programs. Each of them are managed. Each of them is managed by UN institutions. So Hinari is focusing on health, Agora is on agriculture, OARA is environment, ADIO is on innovation and technology, and GOALI is law and social sciences. So basically these programs you will find when you access Research for Life, and they collect publications on these topics. You will find CABI mainly in Hinari and Agora, but also on other programs. So how do we access CABI? You can log in from our website. So there is a login page. Could you please click on this? Yeah. When you click this, you have to enter your username, And then here are the 5 programs. And for example, you select one like Hinari. Yes, here it is. You enter. And you arrive to the Hinari content portal. And there is a databases for discovery. And if you click on this, then you will find a CAB abstract. And if you click on this, then you will go directly to the database. So this is the way how you will find CABI. And so we encourage you to follow us. We will organize several trainings and webinars in the forthcoming months. And we also record this training, this webinar. So you will find it on the Research4Life website on the training page. We have a newsletter, so you can sign up to our newsletter and you will receive regular information on our trainings. And please also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or the group. And if you have any access problem, we have a help desk, and please write to research4L@research4life.org. So this was my short introduction about Research4Life. So I give you the floor to my colleagues. In case you have a question, maybe can users ask questions now or at the end?
Yeah, I think if it depends how many users I cannot see. So if the users are a number of them, yeah, it's not big. So we can allow them if they have any question to ask now, one by one. But when we have lots of numbers sometimes, so that's why we ask them, encourage them to send messages, and then we answer them later. So if anyone has any question for Research4Life, not CABI, just Research4Life, please feel free. If the presentation is clear, I can move to the CABI presentation.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. So thank you very much. I'm really pleased to be with you today and present CABI to you. And thanks for Research4Life for all the work they have been doing to serve many communities in the developing nations. We have a lot in common together because we are a very specific and unique publisher. CABI, it's called Center for Agriculture and Bioscience International. In our next slide here, you could see in our mission, CABI is not-for-profit international organization that improves people's lives. And really, I always use the same word in every presentation I do. A really nice slogan of CABI is how to lose less and feed more. That's what we'd like to do. It's how we could lose less of any crops. Eventually, if we lose less of any crops, we feed more people around the world. And that's I think the main of our objectives. And what we do at CABI, we actually address issues of global concerns such as food security using science, information, and communication. So who is CABI in brief? It was established in 1910 by the United Nations Treaty, provides scientific expertise and information about agriculture and environment. It's owned by 49 countries. It has about 480 staff around the world, and we are expert in scientific publishing and international development. I will tell you in a minute what's the difference between them. Those are the member countries, as you could see, some developing nations and some developed nations. And it's a really nice mixture that the two sides of the world that work together. We have a nice size Swiss office and UK office, and also we have one in India and Pakistan and Kenya. So it's a very good variety of workforce that they work together to diffuse science to everyone. So we have 2 different departments, one called International Development and Research, and that's where we do have programs that we work outside the publishing. It's hands-on programs like PlantWise. Please go on Google in your free time and put PlantWise CABI. It will tell you what is this program. It helps and develops extension workers and trains them to become plant doctors, that's what we call them, and helps Ministry of Agriculture to restructure the agriculture system and make sure to save more crops and help the farmers to be more profitable, also produce more for the local communities. We do collect a lot of content and data from that as well, and we work with many universities to produce something we call publishing. In publishing, we do have a lot of variety of content: books, e-books, compendium, and online resources. I'm just showing you this, but via Research4Life, you have mainly access to a certain number of books and to a certain number of journals. As you can see here, 83% of our content is already journals. We have some conference proceedings and grey literature, also books and other content like thesis and bulletins. The subject areas that we cover, we could summarize them in the below chart: animal sciences, plant sciences, forestry, aquatic sciences, environmental sciences, food sciences, and human sciences, and tourism. And if I may take some of your time a little bit to just give you some examples of each of these main subjects. So if I mention animal sciences here, we're talking about dairy sciences, animal breeding, animal nutrition, veterinary medicine, etc., veterinary entomology. And if I take plant sciences, you could see horticulture, crops, plant breeding, genetics, plant nutrition, plant production, and plant pests. If I take forestry, you could see forestry, forest and forestry, forest pests and diseases, forest product and industries. And if I take as another example the aquatic sciences, so we're covering fishery, aquatic animals and aquatic plants, aquatic biology and ecology. And if I take environmental sciences, obviously we cover the biofuel, we cover invasive species, soil and water conservation, and other examples as you may see. In the green, sorry, not to mention in our content, if it's green like this, we're talking about millions of records. If we're talking about the orange, million of full text records. Food sciences, here now some examples of food chemistry, food processing, food safety, food economics, diet studies, obesity, etc. And then if you talk about human sciences, one of the hottest topics during the corona pandemic, so nutrition, food sciences, human parasitology and medical entomology, and those are some examples of human sciences. And tourism, mainly ecotourism, sustainable tourism. Obviously, we have to cover outdoor recreation, sport, and hotel industry in general. The last slide is about the geographical coverage. As you may see, we still have over 70% is from the Western world, like Europe, Western Europe, North America, Australia. However, we are working to collect more data from the other part of the world, like India, Middle East, and Africa. So far, this is the presentation about CABI and Research4Life. Please, if you have any question, we can give you a few seconds to answer. Otherwise, we are happy to move to the web demo on CAB Direct platform, and this will be done by my colleague Amy. She will have a beautiful British accent voice, and you will sit back and enjoy how to search the CAB Direct, obviously after accessing the Research4Life portal, so you could have the access authenticated freely. In the meantime, I'm going to mute myself and try to see if I can answer any of your questions on the messages. Over to you, Amy.
Thank you very much, Brahim. I think actually we do have a question from Jrah. Does CABI fund research? Perhaps you can take that one, Brahim.
CABI looks for funding like any other research from other donors. So we do work with many donors to finance our projects. However, if an institution has a project and thinks that CABI can be a good partner and fits their needs, we can work together in looking for funding for a specific project. So I have been in a meeting with the RU Forum yesterday, and we are working on some projects. RU Forum is an important and interesting organization in Africa. We don't fund them, but we work together to look for funding. So ourselves, we don't really fund, but because we are not for profit, we look for funding. And any similar institution, academic or governmental or not for profit, thinks that they have an interesting project and CABI fits well that project, we are happy to work together to look for funding. So please email me. I'm going to put my email on the box, chat box, and then you could email me if you have something interesting to share. Then we could take it forward.
Thanks, Brahim. Just bear with me 1 second, everybody, and I will share my screen and we'll crack on with the CAB Direct platform demo. Okay, so hopefully everybody should be able to see the CAB Direct homepage now. This is your single portal for access for all CABI resources. So you'll be able to see all the databases that you have access to via Research4Life, and also all the ebooks as well. It's all indexed within this platform. So you can access via, of course, the Research4Life platform, and this will direct you to the CAB Direct platform. So just to give you just a quick overview of the homepage, there's the search box here in the middle of the page, and I've actually pre-typed the search terms in there, but I'll get to that in a second, excuse me. Underneath that, just for reference, there's a list of all the CABI products that Research4Life does offer. And underneath that, there's some really useful links to various resources that might help you use the CAB Direct platform. So we have training videos, recordings of webinars, quick guides, which are like PDFs that just very quickly go over the basic functionality of the platform, and also a link to the integrated help tool as well, which I will highlight at the end of this demo. So obviously, the main thing is to start with a search. So you can start with a simple keyword search using the search box here, and you can use any database search technique here. So with this, you can see I've used parentheses and phrase searching, Boolean operators, but you can use proximity searching, truncation, anything like that. And when you're happy with your simple search string, you can just click the orange search button. So this is the results summary page. We've got quite a good result set here, just over 1,600 results. But what we can do is we can use various filters to the right of the page to narrow this result set down to something that's a little bit more relevant and maybe a little bit more manageable for our research. So the main one here we've got is the results by year. So here we can use the slider to focus on specific publication date ranges. And you can see in the graph here where there's been, peaks in research, or we can simply enter our publication date range in the box here and click update results. So that's narrowed my results down to more recent publications. We can certainly refine this further though. So underneath we have the refine by options here, and this allows you to refine your search, your search results by a number of different facets. So for example, document type here. Let's say for now we're really only interested in seeing journal articles, but you can see here all the different types of records that are available. What we can do now is we can close this box and select another facet to refine by. So a really useful one is the CABI hosted full text option here. And you can see here that my previous selection of journal article has been retained. So selecting this box here, CABI hosted full text, this will narrow results to where CABI host the full text, unsurprisingly. And so if you're really only interested in viewing full text, full text records, full text articles, I suggest that you use this filter here. And now that I've built up my refinement options, I can click Refine Results, and this will apply them all at once. So now that's really narrowed my results to a nice manageable set, and you can see here at the top of the page, we can remove any of these Refine By options simply by clicking on the X next to them. So now that I have a nice manageable result set, I can choose to sort these in a number of different ways. So obviously date will bring the most recent publications to the top of the page alphabetically. The database will automatically sort by relevancy. So this basically means that the search is looking at these keyword terms in our search string, and it is looking for frequency of these terms within the article title, the body of the abstract itself, or the particular journal that the article is taken from. So that is how the database defines relevancy. We can also choose to show up to 100 results per page. So you might have noticed as well, there's an orange View Full Text button on the results summary page. So clicking on that orange box will bring up the full text PDF right away. Or what we can do is we can click through onto the title, and this takes us through to the full record page, which obviously goes into much more detail about the record itself. So we've got author email and author affiliation listed here. We have the full body of the abstract describing obviously the article's content. We have a URL here. So if, say, CABI didn't host the full text for this particular article, but the full text was available elsewhere, perhaps from an open access journal, the URL here would take you straight through to that open access journal where you could then view the full PDF. There's all the bibliographic data here as well. Underneath that, at the bottom of the page, we have the indexing terms associated to this abstract. And basically, what we have is we have some subject experts, and they analyze each abstract that we index, and they pull keyword terms from that abstract, and then those keyword terms are used to index the abstract within our databases. We have an Explore Similar Records feature here to the right of the page. So all these articles listed here will have very similar patterns of indexing to the article that you are viewing. And that means obviously that they're from very similar topic areas. So it's a good way of expanding and finding additional content that might be relevant to your research. Clicking Show All Similar Records will launch a new search on the site, returning all of those similar records. We have a feature here, Show Indexing Terms. So if I click the slider, indexing terms are now highlighted within the abstract. And what we can do is we can hover over them and click See More Details. And sometimes it does take a little while for the definition to pull in. It depends on your internet speed. Mine's a little slow at the moment, obviously, but eventually a definition will appear for the particular term. You can also see a term hierarchy here, which you can then drill down into, and you can see any related terms as well. You can also click on here to view all the organism descriptors, identifiers, and broad terms that have been used to index this particular article. And also following on from that, we can then build up search strings using these various indexing terms. So for example, here I can click on organism descriptors, and I won't attempt to try and pronounce any of these, but we can select them using the checkbox here. close the box as we did with our refine by options, and select another. And let's, again, I won't try and pronounce any of these, but select the box here. And we can then choose the Boolean operator we wish to use to combine these terms. Then we have two options. We can either add these terms to our existing search string, which will of course narrow our results down even further, or what we can choose to do is we can create a whole new search. So you can see our new search string is now displayed here using those indexing terms, and we've got a new result set as well. Once we've found records that might be particularly interesting to us on the platform, we can select them using the checkboxes next to the titles. And what this will do is this will temporarily store these records within the tab selected records here. But what we can do is we can also permanently save these records using a My CABI account. So what I will do is I'll just select these again. And we have various actions here. So sorry, before I save these, I'll just show you, you can print the selected records by clicking on print selected records, and we can select the degree of detail that we wish to go into here. We can email them, so we can input any email address in here. We can select the format we wish the email to take, and then again, the degree of detail that we wish to go into. We can download or export the selected record. So this is very useful if you're using a reference management software. We currently have RefWorks integrated within the platform, but we are working to get other reference management software integrated as well. But what we can do is we can export into an RIS file and then upload to our management software, or we can select to export in a number of different file formats, for example, a text file or a CSV file. And again, the degree of detail that we wish to go into can be selected here. So now as well, we can save these like I mentioned. So if you go to the Save Selected Items icon here, you'll then be prompted to sign into your My CABI account. All this My CABI account is it's a completely free account available to individual users, and this allows you to save records and various searches, set up content alerts that are sort of personal to you. So it's a really useful tool. I encourage all users to sign up for a My CABI account, and it just unlocks some functionality of the platform that people might not be aware of. So I'm just going to sign into, obviously, my existing My CABI account. And I'll then be prompted to save these records to either an existing project, or I can create a new project. Let's call it test project for now. And then we can click create project. So you'll see here that there is now a save icon next to these records, indicating that they have been saved to a My CABI account. And as long as you're signed into your account, if ever these records come up in other searches, this save icon will be displayed. So you'll always know what has already been saved to a particular project. And if I just go back to the search results as well, I'll show you how easy it is just to save searches. So if you've got a search that's really interesting, you think it's quite useful, you can save the entire search string simply by clicking the icon here, Save Search. And you'll be prompted in the exact same way. If you're not already signed into a My CABI account, you'll have to sign in. And then we can just save to an existing project this time. And then simply, if we go to the My Projects tab here, you'll see a list of all active projects that you might be working on. We click on the project here that I've just created. This takes me to the activity log, and this just logs where you've saved records and various search strings. It's very useful if you have maybe multiple researchers working on a project, you could perhaps set up a CABI account using a generic email, share the details, and you know, this is where you can see where other researchers have probably saved records of interest or any search strings, so it's quite useful for that. And this can also be exported to a CSV file. To view your saved records, you simply go to the Records tab here. And you can see here the records that I have saved previously. Clicking on any of these titles will take you through to the full record page. And then similarly with the searches, clicking on this search string here will relaunch the search on the site, returning any new records that may have been added you know, since you saved this search to the project. Another really useful thing that you can do as well is if you check the record here using the checkbox and then click Create Weekly Email Alerts for selected searches, what that will do is it will send a weekly summary to the email address that you use to register for your CABI account. It will detail any records that have been added to the database that relate to this particular search string. So it's very useful for keeping on top of any emerging research that might be relevant to your research. Very quickly, obviously I started this demo with a very quick keyword, simple keyword string search, but we do also have an advanced search function, which is very useful. So here we can apply specific keywords to specific indexing fields within the database. So you can see a list here of all the various indexing terms, indexing fields, sorry, that you can then apply your keyword search to. So I'm going to do a very simple example here. So in this instance, I'm asking the database for all records that mention genetic diversity in the actual article title, say, and that also mention cereals within the body of the abstract. Say, you can select your different Boolean operators here as well. We can also apply a number of different refine by options automatically. So we have a published between, so that's your publication date range, or added since. You can instantly filter to various record types. Only search for, you know, there's that CABI hosted full text option here again, evidence-based research or open access journals. So that's really if you're only interested in full text and getting straight through to the full article. Or you can just narrow down by specific CABI product. So that's basically just another way of conducting a search on the site. This is quite it's a very simple example that I've used, but you can see how you might be able to use this to search for specific authors or authors that have been affiliated to specific institutions, perhaps. And then just to finish up, again, at the very start of the demo, I mentioned the integrated online help tool. If ever you see a question mark here, you'll see them littered throughout the platform. They're really useful. It basically takes you through to the integrated help tool. And this is a dynamic tool. It's constantly being updated, and it contains lots of different hints and tips on how to use the platform, how to search, and the various features that are available. So it's very, very useful for, you know, if there are any questions or if you're having any problems using the platform, take a look around, see if you can see this question mark icon, and try to perhaps use the integrated help tool. There's lots of hints and tips on there. But I'm also available as well to take any questions. The email address is training@cabi.org. I'll stick it in the chat as well. So if you are having any problems with the platform or searching or anything like that, do just drop me an email. But that concludes the a very quick overview of CAB Direct. I hope that everyone has found it useful. I think I saw a few questions perhaps popping up in the chat, but if anyone does have any questions, feel free to ask away.
Many thanks, Amy. Very wonderful, short, straight to the point. So first thing is, this product is available on Research4Life platform. In order to access it fully, you've got to access it via the Research4Life platform, like my colleague was presenting at the beginning. So we are very happy to take any of your questions regarding CABI or CABI content. Also, if you have any other question for Research4Life, I'm sure my colleagues from Research4Life are happy to answer any of your questions. Please go ahead and try to throw any of your questions if you have before to end the call if you don't have any. I take it that is it. So please enjoy using CABI via Research4Life. If you have any questions, you could approach us or better approach Research4Life with the emails that they have put for us earlier. So please make sure to contact us if you need anything.
There is one question about the project, sharing the project.
Yeah, I've just seen that, yes, I'm just reading it. So, precise presentation, thank you. And then can you also share my projects with others if you people are working on a collaborative research? If that question is about CABI project icon, yes, you can. Your colleague needs to have access to CABI as well by Research4Life. And then when you create a project, you could share it with him. And then he also, when he logs in, because he's part of that project, he also can share his content or read what you've put in that project. Okay.
The presentation will be recorded. There is a question about the presentation. Can we share the presentation on the Zoom? If not, we will upload to the Research4Life training website.
Yeah, I think it will be on YouTube page, and then maybe we'll send you the link where you could put that link on your website as well.
Okay. We can share the presentation on our website also.
Yes, absolutely.
And yes, CABI is included in the 1,500 USD package. Yes. This is for the yearly subscription for Research4Life institutions from from middle-income countries. Maybe it will be waived due to the coronavirus, but yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Horvath, you would like to finalize this? Thank you for coming for us and being patient with us and interested in CABI. And I will give you the finishing the presentation, if you may. Edit. Are we all good now?
Yeah, I think so. Thank you for everybody for the participation.
Okay.
Thank you for presenting. Yeah, it was really very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you very much to you, and stay safe.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your time.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe.